Hello, hello. This is Yuri of Moving Sales Professionals and Let's Talk Moving Podcast. And I have with me Todd Krause with Silversun Consulting at silversunconsulting.com, showing business how to increase their profits, but by eliminating the profit they're missing or misappropriating and or losing due to inefficiency. How you doing today, Todd?
Very good, Yuri. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
No problem. Thank you so much. So, Todd, how did you get started in this space?
I come from a long background in alternative investments where we had to build companies, put up deals together, and all through all of that, it was all focused on how do we make it work? How do we make it work efficiently, effectively, maximize the profit? More recently, I grew a cleaning company to over $4 million in revenue with 60 employees from 14 countries. And that's where I really saw firsthand how in the service industry, your people, your technology, your AI all has to really work together in order to produce the right customer experience. So they want to keep coming back to you. At the same time, making your business efficient and getting the profit margins that it should be getting.
Right. And obviously, today a lot of people are talking about AI. I think just like anything else, it has time and place and it has to be used properly. Like I don't think that they're quite yet to replace a human, at least not in service industry where sales is involved, because I think it's going to take a while before a computer can learn to understand when the person is withholding information based on the sound in of their voice, or when they're not telling you something, or when they are telling you something that's not true, or whatever the case is. But it's something that we as humans have learned based on our experience. We can tell when somebody is not providing truthful information. And the only way that I could see a computer or AI be able to recognize something like that would be through speech pattern. And speech pattern is a thing that can be very individualized, where somebody can sound like they're lying and they're just simply somebody that's not sure of themselves, and that's how their voice translates. So to be able to fully rely on AI to be able to determine those type of things, I think is premature.
And now for a word from our sponsors. If you're a moving business owner, you may have already heard of Moversville, an email marketing service that helps moving companies increase, repeat, and referral business. But have you heard of Moversville Connect? Moversville Connect is an incredible resource for all things moving. They feature an array of vendors and services that cater specifically to the moving industry. You can find companies that provide moving software, moving sales services, marketing services, moving equipment providers, and much, much more. Visit moversville.com today to learn more.
I couldn't agree more. I'm not anti AI or anti technology. It doesn't replace relationships. Where you really win in the service industry, whether you're moving people or doing plumbing or cleaning, it's having that relationship with your employees, that relationship with your customers. AI and technology should be transparent. It should be your support.
Right. And I agree with that, of course. Now, Todd, what makes you different from other consulting agencies that also work on growth, increase profits, etc.? What
Well,
makes you different?
this might sound a little funny given the name of the business, but I'm not a consultant. I actually go in and I actually show my clients where their profit loss is and work side by side with them to make the changes necessary to recapture that profit. I don't just sit there and deliver some sort of a formula, follow this formula and everything's going to be better. It, actually go in and implement. We actually take a real interest in their success.
I mean, that would be the part of building relationships that you're talking about. Of course, in your case and in my case, it's the B2B relationships. But regardless, it is something that's extremely important where I certainly take pride in working with my clients and trying to solve and figure out what would be a better way to help them increase their profits from our side of things, right? And how do we make things work more efficient? How do we make things sell? How do we make them look better in the eyes of the consumer? And that's certainly something that you're looking to do with what you're doing, correct?
That's correct. I mean, we really do it by going in and a lot of the profit leak that happens in companies, it's people, because we're in a service business. They don't have the right people. The people aren't appropriately trained. The turnover is often high, means that you're constantly paying to hire more people. You're constantly paying to train people. You're living through all of their beginner mistakes over and over and over again. When you retain that staff and you get them using your tools and your technology to their best, then you're going to really capture the profit. Yes, they probably earn more because they've been there longer, but they save you more than that extra salary or that extra wages that they earn just in efficiencies. There's real measurable benefits that drive up the top line and push down operating expenses. And we can demonstrate that to each and every one of our clients.
Right. And that honestly, that fits into what we do here at Moving Sales Professionals.
Does your company need more creative marketing and ad campaigns to improve traffic and organic leads? Well, Moving Sales Professionals has a solution for you. We have partnered with social media marketing agency that has over 300 million views on their ads and videos across social media. And they have generated over $35 million for their clients over the last 10 years alone. Their services include content creation, social media ads, pay-per-click campaigns, website and funnel development, Google Ads, email marketing campaigns, lead generation, and much, much more. For a limited time only, they have discounted rates for their services. Sign up for a free consultation call with us via our Calendly link on our website or below this video.
I think the best way is when you are looking at you get to a point where you're looking to hire a sales team, right? Or you feel that the sales team that you have has been inefficient for whatever reason. Maybe they're not fitting your model. Maybe they're not able to sell your product as well. Maybe, frankly, the people that you have, they're great customer service people, but they're not really salespeople. And to be frank, to me, having been in the moving industry and in the sales industry for at this point 23 plus years, probably 26 years of doing sales, there is a big difference. And that's a mistake that a lot of people will make. A lot of people make an assumption that a good customer service person is going to make a great salesperson. They're not one and the same. A salesperson is going to make the extra push where the customer service person will not, because they're going to be afraid that if they make that extra push, they're going to offend the person that they're speaking with. Salesperson knows that asking those extra questions, making that extra push, if done correctly, is not going to offend the person and could also lead to an additional sale. And I think in a lot of cases, it's a matter of psychology of a sale and understanding where you can and you can't do. And a lot of this stuff, frankly, can't, in my opinion, in some cases it can be taught, but in a lot of cases, it's something that's innate in the person that you're bringing on board to do the sales. Customer service person will always go back to pleasing the client, where the salesperson trots the line between pleasing the client and at the same time pleasing you, the owner, that's there to trying to make that profit, right? So what we're talking about profits and keeping profits within your company, I've had people tell me that they feel that paying a commission for our services is higher than what they're looking to spend or that they're spending on their salespeople right now. But here's the reality. If you bring a salesperson on board today, in order to find a person that potentially, not necessarily, and you won't know that till later, unfortunately, but potentially fits what you're looking for, you're going to spend money on Indeed, Monster, some of these other sites that you're looking for that per sales rep, right? You're going to spend money on that. B, you're going to spend time interviewing these people, and time is worth money. C, you're going to spend time on training. You're going to spend time bringing these people in. And in a lot of cases, you won't find out uh, that that person doesn't fit you until the training is over and you actually put them on the phones, put them to work, right? And I'll tell you something else that some of you already know and some of you don't if you're just trying to foray into hiring a sales team or hiring additional help. There are people out there today that are what I call career interviewees. That to interview and to go into training is their job. They get there, they get paid, to spend time in training. They spend training a week to whatever. And then once the training is over, they find an excuse to leave. So they never actually technically work for you. They never earn any money for you, but they make money by training for you. So things like that affect your profits. Where, for example, if you hire us, we have people that are already trained, that are ready to do the sales, that are ready to do this type of work from day one. And you don't have to pay for commission. You don't have to pay them for days off. You don't have to pay them for holidays. You don't have to pay them extra bonuses. You just strictly follow the structure that we have set up for you.
That really sums it up well, where a large portion of the profit leak is on the upfront sales side, getting those right people in place. Now, the rest of the team also has to be the right people too,
Sure.
and not these career interviewees. You need the right personality for the customer service person who is trained and experienced. Experience is where you get your efficiencies. They see problems before they turn into problems and solve them. That keeps your customers happy, that keeps your customers coming back. On the mover side, it's all about the care and the respect that they demonstrate on the job and the courtesies that they put out there. Seems like small gestures, but small gestures make or break the experience.
Like
The
making that
sale,
extra phone call
the
to
extra
let the
phone call.
customer know that you're running behind.
Communicate, communicate, communicate. People are forgiving and understand you get delayed. Things happen. Accident in traffic. They don't understand why you can't pick up the phone and just tell them.
Right. Despite the fact that at that particular moment you might be carrying a, 500-pound piano or whatever else. So that's something that doesn't translate to customers that also don't understand why it takes longer to move in 100-degree heat or, -2 or whatever the case may be. So things like that, we understand it being in the industry. Customers don't necessarily always understand it because they have never done it themselves, nor do they take a minute to think that this is a industry where there's a lot of hard work required, and it's not a skill that just gets picked up like that. So it is skilled labor that gets the job done properly, and we all know that being in the industry. There's a big difference between unskilled mover and skilled. But we can talk about this for a long time. Now, one of the things I want to
Absolutely.
ask you now, first of all, what options do you give to the companies? Is there something specific that you offer?
Well, after we do our initial analysis and assessment really of their situation, then yes, there are specific upfront sales things that they can change and implement to improve sales. There are service delivery changes that we offer to them to make, and customer service changes. The most important one is what their hiring process and training process is, building the culture of caring into their environment. There's such a difference between a mover who comes in and just does the job because he needs the paycheck and the one who cares. They're going to retain customers for you. They are going to get you more referrals, word of mouth, than somebody who just gets it done, isn't careful, drops things, nicks things. Simple things like putting on shoe covers when you go into somebody's house is one of the most respectful things that we as service people do for each other.
Sure.
It really shows we care, and it demonstrates what type of attitude you're bringing to the job right from the get-go.
Now, does that initial review, does that come with a fee, or how do you handle that?
The fee is for our assistance where we implement side by side with them.
So the
We
review
don't
then is free, but then once we talk about implementation and whether they want you to do things to like basically you identify the problem areas, the areas that they can increase it with, and then people choose whether to proceed with you doing that for them or not. And obviously that comes at a fee.
That's correct. And I can give you a very quick 5 or 10 second example from a slightly different service industry.
Sure.
I had a cleaning client down in Winter Garden, Florida, who was mispricing his services and leaving $140,000 in profit on the table. When we looked at how his service delivery model, he simply had so much inefficiencies built into his service delivery model. He was leaving another $40,000 to $50,000 in profit on the table. This person was earning $600,000 a year in revenue and taking nothing home because of these profit inefficiencies. Those are the two areas that we focused on with him to turn this around and to get his business profitable. So he was paying himself. Overall, he could have been paying himself $180,000 a year, and he wasn't.
Right. And that's a big difference. That's a big difference between staying in business and going out of it.
Yeah, it wasn't a problem of having revenue. It was a problem on the other side. He wasn't charging what his services were worth, and he wasn't doing his work efficiently.
So Todd here would help you identify things where you could be charging more. Maybe there's certain, maybe reappropriating your funds or your services in certain areas or your labor a certain way where things could be made more efficient. Obviously, building the whole process is in place, which is obviously major area of the moving business is building processes and putting them in place that would allow you to grow and allow you to be more efficient. And that's where Todd comes in.
You can't say enough about having a process and following the process.
So Todd, where do you see service industries such as moving going in the next 5 years?
I see a couple of things happening. As everybody jumps onto this, we don't need to talk to our customers bandwagon that the tech industry is selling us. That's headed for a, a crash in the future because we do have to talk to our customers. It's that relationship that matters. The companies that embrace the talking to their customers and their employees and having real relationships with them will they'll excel. They will do great. The ones who jump on this bandwagon, I don't have to talk to customers, they're going to be left in the dust, wondering what happened. Why isn't the phone ringing? Why am I having trouble finding employees and keeping them? And for them, they listen to that siren song that AI is going to do everything for us. And they missed the importance of letting technology and AI be a support tool and let the relationships exist. Let your customers talk to you. Don't make them go through a call tree and then talk to a chatbot. That just is not going to a winning formula in the long run.
Absolutely, I agree. So, of course, we can talk about this being in the service industry for a long time. And Todd, thank you very much for joining us for this and for providing the information in your service. And of course, we're going to make sure we put in links so that all of you can check out Todd's company and see if his service can be something that can help you grow and help you take care of inefficiencies and allow you to get what you're trying to get. So once again, as I always say, the world moves on its own, so let the professionals move yours for you. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you very much, Todd.